What are your qualifications and experience to run for the City Commission?
I divide my qualifications up into two parts. One is my education and training. I do have a master's in city planning and a master's in business administration, and have worked for many years in a city, working directly for 3 different mayors, and at one point in time running an agency that was comprised of over 20,000 people. But probably more important to all of you is the work that I've done in Delray over the course of the last 5 years. I've sort of been the intern emeritus, taking on a lot of different tasks. For example, I'm missing tonight being the vice chair of the Site Planning Review and Appearance Board. So I do apologize to my fellow board members of that for being here. But I'm also very much involved with the rewrite of the city's comprehensive plan, which I invite all of you to get involved in, because that's really the thing that really determines what this city is going to be like in the next 25 years or so. And it has been very well advertised and solicited citizen input. I found it's very exciting. The book is about yay thick, and I went through and marked it up completely, because this really is my meat and potatoes, and really excited about it. I've also been involved in quite a few other activities in the city. One of them that I'm very proud of is I helped acquire the last remaining parcel of undeveloped land on Lake Ida, working with a number of different city commissioners on that and helping raise the money to do it. I look forward to being on the city commission in order to really effectuate that purchase.
Thank you so much. If you pass the mic down to Annette.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Same question, correct?
Same question.
My name is Annette Barthelemy, and I am a resident of Delray. I love Delray. I moved here from Haiti. I was 14 years old, where I attended Atlantic High School, and I have a master's degree in social work. So my background has been really solving issues, deep issues. We're talking about serious family problems. I've worked with DCF, Department of Children and Families, where children have been removed from the custody of their parents, and I have to work with the lawyers, the judges, garden ad litem, and other to bring about the best solutions to help these children. And I do believe, as a social work, a lot of the policies that are made affect the families that I serve. And now I want to take it to another level, where I can assist not just the families, but the city as a whole. We do have a large African American and Haitian community in this city. I do believe that we do need representation in the council, and I think I have the personality and the experience to bring our commission together to work for the betterment of the whole city. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kelly Barrete. I'm running for C2 Delray Beach City Commission. My qualifications and my background, I'm a graduate of Tufts University, where I met my husband of 31 years, Jack Barrete. I have been a small business owner for most of my life, and it may surprise you to know that Delray Beach, 93% of the businesses in Delray Beach are small businesses. Since moving to Delray Beach, I've been an advocate for sober home regulations and responsible development. These are the 2 biggest issues that affect the quality of life in Delray Beach. I worked diligently on city commission campaigns, including the first campaign that I worked on was that of Mayor Glickstein. I am on the board of the Sandaway Discovery Center, and I am on the board of the Delray Beach Historic Preservation Trust.
Inez, the second question is directed to you to answer first. What do you believe to be the greatest challenge to the barrier island and its residents? Please explain.
Sure. Definitely, we see that there's an influx. So many developments are happening in the city. The growth in the city is so overwhelming. And when we get like a lot of tourists, especially during the winter season, and also those of us who live in the city who want to enjoy the beaches and so on and so forth, it caused a lot of traffic and congestion. So we definitely need to address the issue of as far as making sure whatever the roads and the alleys, whatever we create, that they're safe. And also we preserve our beaches. We preserve the beautiful city that attracts so many people to travel to the city of Delray Beach to enjoy the beautiful cities that we have. So we want to preserve the history of the Barrier Island.
Why don't you pass it down to Kelly, and then we'll bring it all the way back to
Well, as a resident and property owner in the Barrier Island, I think parking is one of our biggest challenges. We have parking all over our yards during the season. That's one of our challenges, but also the compatibility of some of these developments going in and overwhelming our area with even more traffic. Also maintaining our beautiful beach, and the sober home issue, of course. The infiltration of sober homes in our neighborhoods is actually probably the #1 issue in our city.
Okay.
I think you have to divide the island into the east side and the west side. I think on the east side there is the issue of maintaining the dunes, and on the west side there is the issue of sea level rise and the flooding that occurs there. Our sea walls throughout the city are crumbling. They're too low as we have sea level rise, and I think many of you have experienced flooding in your own homes. We also have a beach that is the pride of our city. It draws millions of people each year, and at one point in time that beach was 30 feet down, and we through a lot of effort and a lot of brains have brought that back up and to the point that it is a beautiful, beautiful beach. But there are also things like the cleanliness of that beach. I've been involved in beach cleanings, and I don't think I want to repeat some of the things that I found out there. But it doesn't take very long for it to get filthy. One of the things that I want to look at is the beach cleanliness contract to see if there isn't something we can do on that. And I also think in terms of parking, the Marina Historic District had a very similar problem to your parking here. The city solved that. The city didn't take that extra step to solve yours. These are things that we know how to do, and this should be the next priority to do that. And I also want to mention sober homes. I live in the epicenter of sober homes, and so I'm very experienced on that. I believe that is the city's #1 problem. I have a sort of a 10-point plan that if any of you want to talk about, I'll be glad to do that later.
Okay. Kelly, we're going to ask you the next question. Flooding in recent years has become an increasing problem in both eastern and western parts of the city. What actions do you recommend the city undertake to reduce these problems and protect neighborhoods and infrastructure from damage in the future?
Well, sea level rise is a very important issue. I've actually spent a lot of time out in the Marina Historic District. I've gone to meet and greet out there, and that's been their #1 issue out there for a long time. They really want us to rebuild their seawalls. They've been waiting for that for some time. So we do need to take care of that. We do need to build higher seawalls, and that should be an absolute priority for our city.
Definitely, we need to make sure that we take care of our seawalls, and we make sure that we invest the same amount of care for every issue in the city, because I know in the past certain commissioners were not so involved as far as addressing the sea level, the rise, and also, so as a commissioner, I want to make sure that you give that a priority, because if there is a storm, it will affect the whole city, not just that area. So we have to make sure we give the priority to make sure that we address that issue so it doesn't become a catastrophe like other states have experienced.
Thank you.
I think we have to start by recognizing that sea level is real. You don't have to believe in global warming to realize what's happening to our city and all up and down the coast. And that already we are having flooding probably once every other month, and it's only going to get worse. We need to build our seawalls up 3 feet high over the course, 3 feet higher over the course of the next 40 years. But before we do that, we have to rebuild the seawalls. They're crumbling, along with a lot of our other infrastructure, including roads and bridges and water pipes and sewer pipes. So we have a backlog of $250 million worth of capital projects in this city that we have scheduled out, but I'm not sure we really know how to pay for it yet. That is a key thing as part of the sea level rise. But we also need to make sure that our ordinances are changed so that when you renovate your buildings or there are new homes being built, they're higher. So that's accommodated. And then, of course, you have the unintended consequences of flooding your neighbor. So it is something where we have to look at it from a community-wide basis. And the other thing is that as you raise the mean level of the building, you're squashing the building from the standpoint of height. So we have to look at the idea of certain allowances to have higher buildings just because they're being squashed by raising the floor.
Okay, Jim, hang on to the microphone. The BPOA started working on improving the promenade of the city's public beach in 2009 with the establishment of the beach area master plan. Many public meetings were held to gather information from citizens expressing their top priorities. What are the top 3 or 4 things you would like to see implemented along our beachfront?
Well, I'd love to see the BPOA master plan started in April, which I think it's now scheduled to do. I think the city, this community, and some of the architects in this community have invested a lot of their time and their own money. The city has approved of it. We need to get that going. So I'm looking forward to seeing that happen. And I think the exciting thing about it is it's very creative. It's somewhat whimsical, the way the sidewalks wind around, some of the designs of the benches and of the fountains for the use by people on the beach. I think the other thing is that it incorporates the idea that we really need to have the right kind of plants on that beach, and those plants are not sea grapes. Sea grapes are very invasive. They will take over the beach. Many of them are not even native. I think some of them come from the Philippines. And what they do is they shade over the plants that have the deep roots that really build and maintain the dunes. And so I think one of the important things that need to be done, and this community has been very much in the forefront of it. They've helped hire some of the world's leading experts, people like Rob Barron, to really make sure that the new construction plus the dunes work together and make it for a much more amenable community for walking and accessing the beach.
Thank you. I would definitely applaud the work that this community has done as far as raising so much money to build a pavilion. And so I think definitely you are a role model for other communities in the city of Delray Beach, that we can learn a lot from your collective efforts on how to maintain and keep our city safe. And so definitely I'm in support of getting those meters, making sure that we have better parking, and also making sure that the alleys and we get the native plants that are needed to ensure that we can preserve the beaches, and that we continue to do a great job. You all have been doing a wonderful job, and I applaud you for it, and I'm so impressed. And the fact that you didn't just put together your objective without the city's input. You got together the whole city. You had citywide meetings to talk about the changes that you wanted to see, and you made it happen. So thank you. Continue the great work, I would say.
run or walk along the beach every day with my dog, so I can hardly wait for our beach master plan to get going. I know that it was put off because it was going to cost a lot more money to start it in the fall and then get it done by season. So the city actually made a really wise decision to put it off until April. I think it's going to start work on it in April. So the things that I'm really looking forward to is a wider path to run and walk my dogs on. I'm really looking forward to the new benches, showers, all the new amenities. I think it's going to be incredible. And I think our city should do all we can to maintain a world-class beach.
Thank you, Kelly. Nez, I'm going to ask you the next question. The intersection of Ocean Boulevard and Atlantic Avenue is the eastern entry point for our downtown. This intersection has not been improved in decades. What is your vision for this important location?
Definitely, we need to invest in addressing that issue and make sure that we get that work done and going, because we want to make sure that accidents are not happening in that intersection, and it's a safety issue. So definitely it affects everyone. When safety is an issue, everyone can be affected. So we definitely need to invest in making sure that the work gets done for that intersection.
Go ahead and give it to Kelly. It doesn't matter. It's going to go back to Kelly at the end.
Okay. Either or.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Make a decision.
take it. Do you need me to repeat it?
Yes, thank you.
The question was the intersection of Ocean Boulevard and Atlantic Avenue is the eastern entry point for our downtown. It hasn't been improved in decades. What's your vision for this location?
Is this more of an aesthetic vision? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yes, I think there's a great opportunity there. I think it would be maybe great to have like some public art there or something that really makes it, spectacular. So when people are coming in there, I know right now we have like the flagpole and the seating area, but I do think there is potential, to make that much more attractive for when people come in. Safety obviously is a priority, as Annette said, but I think we could have some great maybe public art project there. That would be my idea.
I think one improvement would be to stop the motorcycles from blasting through there and sort of cracking the sound barrier as you're trying to have a nice dinner at Luna Rosa. But that's probably not going to happen. I think this fits into the fact that the city has allowed its infrastructure to crumble over the last 25 to 50 years. Admittedly, there was a great recession and we did have to defer maintenance. I think this is another example of a project that needs to be schedulized and happen. The other thing I would like to mention is there have been some good things already done in that area. I think the pavilion, which again this community was very much involved with in raising money, pushing for, and designing, is already sort of a crowning achievement on that intersection. And the last thing I'd like to mention is that I know in the sort of the CRA master plan there is a median strip down the middle of Atlantic Avenue. I'm not quite sure what the purpose of that is, but I had found out about that, and I did go to Jeff Costello, the head of the CRA, and I said, Jeff, what is with this? Why do we have this median strip in the plan? And he said, it's never going to be built.
All right, if you pass the mic back down to Kelly. Kelly, we're at closing remarks. So if you would start us off, we'll just come back down this way.
Well, it's so great to see so many neighbors and friends here tonight. I think I got to know most of you when our neighborhood had the issue with the sober home. And we all galvanized, we all came together, we tried to understand that complex issue. And it did kind of set me off on a course of citizen activism in Delray Beach. I hope to continue serving our city. I think my heart is in the right place. I want our city to be the best it can be. And I think addressing the big issues, taking on the tough issues, is what I've done for the 5 years that I've been here. And, you know, I've taken heat for it, but I'm still here. You know, I didn't get out of the kitchen. I'm running for city commission. So I hope to have your vote on March 14th.
Is that for all of us, or?
Closing statement. Definitely, I'm looking forward to, as far as the recruitment of the new city manager. Right now, we have our chief of police, that's an acting city manager as well, interim city manager. That's a great load on him, so we definitely need to work hard to get a new city commissioner as soon as possible to make sure that the city is run smoothly. My focus is on safety, definitely. We want to make sure that we keep our police officers here. When they come to the city, we invest in them, and a lot of them, after they get the experience and the training, they move on to other cities because of the pay and other issues. We have to make sure that we address the sober home issue that's affecting the whole Delray. We have to come up with new ordinances, working with the legislation in Tallahassee. I have some great relationship in the House as well as the Senate, making sure whatever bills that they propose for the state is actually, we'll be able to work with those bills and make sure that we decrease the amount of sober homes that are in our community, and ensuring that we don't open ourselves to lawsuits. So I'm here to ask for your support on March 14th. I'm asking for your vote. I will be accessible to hear your concerns and also to work in your best interest. My interest is represented.
Well, first of all, thanks for coming out tonight. I know it's been rainy, and probably a number of people had second thoughts about coming out tonight, so I really do appreciate it, and having the interest and commitment in the future of your city. I'd also like to say that in the course of this campaign, I've done quite a bit of knocking on doors and walking through the streets, and I've made a lot of friends. I've really enjoyed meeting a lot of your neighbors and talking to people, and the support that I've gotten. I just really want to express appreciation for that. The other thing I want to mention is as I look around this room, I recognize a lot of you that have contributed to the city as a whole. We all talked earlier about the contribution to the island, but contributions to Old School Square, to the arts, to the Arts Garage, to the Chamber of Commerce, to our boards. These are things that take a lot of time, a lot of effort, when you could be doing other things. Spending time with your family and so forth. And I'd like to commend you for that. I'm not sure all of the other neighborhoods can quite say that. But the thing I'd like to leave you with is I'm the candidate of experience and knowledge and results. I can list all of the things that I've done in this city over the last 5 or 6 years, and I'm proud of that. I did it because I loved it. I mean, I really enjoyed it. This is kind of the things that I like to do, reading books that thick on the comprehensive plan and so forth. So I think that's why you should vote for me for seat 2. Thank you.
All right, before I turn this back